The sun dipped slowly behind the hills, bathing the garden in a warm, golden light. Vibrant flowers and leafy trees created a perfect scene of tranquility and beauty. In the midst of this paradise lived Michael, a successful businessman, with his wife Emily and their 2-year-old daughter Lily. Their home was a haven of love and happiness, where laughter and games were part of everyday life. Lily, a curious and lively child, adored spending her afternoons playing in the garden with her favorite stuffed rabbit. Every afternoon, Emily and Michael would join her, creating lasting memories as they shared stories and dined al fresco. Little Lily, with her infectious laughter, was the center of their world, uniting the family with her innocence and joy. However, not everything was as perfect as it seemed. Michael, due to the demands of his work, spent long hours at the office and frequently had to travel for business. Each goodbye was a small blow to Emily's heart, as she was left at home with Lily, feeling a growing void. Although she understood her husband's work responsibilities, the loneliness and lack of companionship began to affect her deeply. The solitary nights became a routine for Emily. As Lily slept peacefully, she would sit in the living room, looking at photos of happier times. Michael's phone calls and messages, though frequent, could not fill the emotional void left by his physical absence. Emily tried to stay strong for her daughter's sake, but the feeling of being ignored and unappreciated began to weigh heavily on her. Tensions between Michael and Emily soon surfaced. Arguments became more frequent, mainly about the lack of time Michael dedicated to his family. Emily felt that her concerns were dismissed and her emotional needs were unmet. Michael, on the other hand, found himself caught between the demands of his work and the desire to be with his family, unable to find a solution that satisfied both. One night, the situation reached a breaking point. After an intense argument about Michael's constant absences, Emily realized that she could no longer live this way. Tears streamed down her face as she watched Michael sleep, exhausted after another endless workday. With a heavy heart, she made the difficult decision to leave. Still with tears in her eyes, Emily went to Lily's room. The little girl slept soundly, hugging her stuffed rabbit. Carefully, Emily began to pack their essential belongings, clothes, some toys, and important documents. The house, once a home filled with laughter and love, now seemed like a place of shadows and sadness. Emily left a letter on the kitchen table explaining her decision. "Michael, I can't keep living in this loneliness and neglect. I need to find a better life for Lily and me. Forgive me." With her suitcase in one hand and Lily in the other, Emily left the house, gently closing the door behind her. The street was deserted, the night cold and dark. She walked to the car, placed Lily in the back seat, and covered her with a blanket before starting the engine. Emily drove aimlessly, her mind flooded with contradictory thoughts. She felt guilty for leaving Michael, but at the same time, she firmly believed that she was making the right decision for Lily's well-being. The little girl stirred in her sleep, murmuring unintelligible words. Emily felt a pang in her heart, but she didn't stop. The first light of dawn began to break when Emily decided to stop at a small motel on the outskirts of town. She parked the car and carefully carried Lily inside. The receptionist, an elderly man with a kind expression, handed her a room key without asking any questions. Inside the room, Emily laid Lily on the bed and sat beside her, watching her daughter breathe softly. "I'm sorry, my love," she whispered, stroking Lily's hair. "All of this is for you, so we can have a better life." The following days were a whirlwind of constant movement. Emily and Lily traveled from city to city, staying in cheap motels and sometimes sleeping in the car. Emily lived with the constant fear of being found by Michael, while guilt and remorse began to wear down her mental health. Her nights were plagued by insomnia and her days a constant battle against anxiety. Despite her efforts to keep Lily entertained and happy, the little girl noticed the tension in her mother. "Mom, where's Dad?" Lily would often ask, her big eyes filled with innocence. Every time Emily heard that question, she felt as if her heart broke a little more. "Dad is working, honey," Emily would reply, trying to keep her voice steady. "We need to find a place where we can be happy." But the words sounded hollow, even to her own ears. One night, as they were parked at a rest stop on the side of a deserted highway, Lily began to cry inconsolably. "I want to see Dad, Mom. Why can't we go home?" Tears streamed down the little girl's face, her cries echoing in the small space of the car. Emily hugged her, trying to comfort her. "Shh, my love. Mommy is here. Everything will be all right, I promise." But inside, Emily felt like she was losing the battle. Guilt and fear were consuming her, and she was beginning to doubt her ability to go on. In the midst of that dark and cold night, Emily remembered the happy times with Michael, the shared laughter, the warm embraces, and the dreams they once had. Had she made the right decision? Doubt tormented her, and the weight of her choice became almost unbearable. Time passed, and Emily's mental health continued to deteriorate. Hallucinations and paranoid thoughts became more frequent. She felt like someone was always watching them, that at any moment, Michael would appear to take them back. Every shadow and every noise became a threat in her disturbed mind. One afternoon, while they were in a small cafe in an unfamiliar town, Lily looked at her mother with a worried expression. "Mom, are you okay?" she asked softly, noticing Emily's deep eye bags and lost gaze. Emily tried to smile, but her lips barely moved. "Yes, my love. I'm just a little tired." But inside, she knew she wasn't okay. She knew she needed help, but the fear of being found and the shame kept her silent. After a restless night, Emily made the most difficult decision of her life. With a heavy heart, she began to plan how to leave Lily in a place where she would be safe and well cared for. The next morning, Emily searched on her phone for the nearest orphanage and wrote down the address. She sat in silence for a moment, looking at her daughter, who was still sleeping peacefully in the back seat of the car. "Forgive me, my love," Emily whispered as tears filled her eyes. "Everything I do is for you." With Lily still asleep, Emily drove towards the orphanage. The journey was marked by a dense and heavy silence. Each passing mile seemed to add to the weight of her decision. They arrived at the orphanage just as the sun began to rise above the horizon. The building was old but well kept, with a garden full of flowers and tall trees that cast long shadows in the early morning light. Emily parked the car and, with trembling hands, took out a sheet of paper and began to write a letter to Lily. "My dear Lily, I know you won't understand why I'm doing this, but please believe that it's for the best. Mom can no longer take care of you the way you deserve, and you need a place where you can grow up happy and safe. Here, you will be surrounded by people who will be able to give you the love and attention that I can no longer provide. I love you more than words can say, and I always will. Never forget that. With all my love, Mom." With the letter written and carefully folded, Emily got out of the car and went around to the back seat. She gently woke Lily up, hugging her tightly one last time. "Come on, my love. We're going to meet some very kind people." Lily, still half asleep, took her mother's hand, and together they walked towards the door of the orphanage. Emily rang the doorbell and, after a few moments, a kind-looking woman opened the door. "Good morning. How can I help you?" the woman asked. "Good morning," Emily replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "This is my daughter, Lily. I can't take care of her anymore, and I need to leave her here, where I know she'll be safe." The woman, understanding the situation, nodded and ushered them inside. Emily handed the letter to the woman and knelt down in front of Lily. "I love you very much, Lily. You'll be safe here. Be strong, my love." Tears streamed freely down her face as she kissed her daughter's forehead. "Mom, where are you going?" Lily asked, her voice filled with confusion and fear. "I have to go, honey, but I'll always be with you in your heart," Emily replied, trying to smile through her tears. She stood up, took a step back, and with a broken heart, turned and walked back to the car. As she drove away, she heard Lily calling out, "Mom!" over and over again, but Emily didn't stop. She knew that if she did, she wouldn't have the strength to go on. Lily, now alone, was led inside the orphanage by the woman. The building was large and welcoming, with many rooms filled with other children. Lily felt small and scared as they took her to a room with several beds lined up against the wall. "This will be your bed, Lily," the woman said kindly. "My name is Zoe, and I'm here to help you. Everything will be all right." But for Lily, nothing was all right. She sat on her assigned bed, hugging her stuffed rabbit tightly. She didn't understand why her mom had left her there and why they couldn't go home. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked around, seeking some comfort in this new and strange place. The days passed slowly for Lily. The other children at the orphanage were kind, but she couldn't help but miss her mother. The nights were the worst. Every strange sound would wake her up, and every shadow would frighten her. She would often cry silently, wishing for her mum to come back for her. Zoe and the other caregivers did their best to make Lily feel welcome and loved. They gave her books to read, toys to play with, and most importantly, lots of affection. But the void in her heart remained. Sometimes Lily wondered if her mom ever thought about her too, and if one day she would come looking for her. One quiet afternoon, while Lily was in the orphanage garden, she met Hannah, a girl a little older than her. Hannah walked over and sat down next to Lily on the grass. "Hi, I'm Hannah. Do you want to play?" she asked with a friendly smile. Lily, hesitant at first, nodded slowly. Hannah showed her how to make flower crowns, and they started to laugh and talk together. Little by little, Lily began to open up and share her feelings with Hannah. The friendship that blossomed between them became a source of comfort and support for Lily in the years that followed. Years went by slowly at the orphanage, and Lily, with the support of her friend Hannah and the caregivers, began to adapt to her new life. 5 years after being left at the orphanage by her mother, Lily had grown into a strong and resilient 8-year-old girl, although the pain of separation lingered in her heart. One day, the orphanage was filled with an unusual air of excitement. Everyone was busy, preparing for the visit of an important benefactor, Michael, a successful businessman who would be arriving to distribute gifts to the children. Lily and Hannah, now inseparable, joined in the frenzy of preparations, helping to decorate and clean the garden. "Do you think he'll bring lots of presents?" asked Hannah as she hung colorful garlands. "I hope so," replied Lily with a shy smile. "I would love to get a new book." The two girls continued working, unaware that the day would bring more than just material gifts. Michael, oblivious to the reunion that was about to unfold, prepared for his visit with a mix of nervousness and anticipation. Despite his professional success, the void left by his daughter's disappearance had never healed. Every act of charity he performed was an attempt to fill that void, to seek a redemption that seemed unattainable. When Michael arrived at the orphanage, he was greeted with enthusiasm by the children and staff. With a warm smile but a heavy heart, he began distributing the gifts. The children's joy was palpable, and for a moment Michael felt a sense of satisfaction, although the shadow of his loss never entirely disappeared. As he walked through the garden, his eyes fell upon a girl who seemed strangely familiar. Lily, with her long, dark hair, was facing away from him, busy helping a younger child with his gift. Michael felt a shiver run down his spine and approached slowly. It was then that he saw the mark on the girl's arm, a small, circular mole that he would recognize anywhere. "Lily," he murmured, his voice barely a whisper, heavy with emotion. The girl turned, her large, curious eyes meeting Michael's. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Michael felt an immediate but inexplicable connection with the girl who looked at him with a mixture of surprise and distrust. "Hello, sir," said Lily, her voice trembling slightly. "Do we know each other?" Michael, unable to contain his tears, nodded and knelt down to her level. "Yes, my love. It's me. I'm your father." Lily frowned, her mind struggling to process what she had just heard. "My father, but my mother never told me about you." Michael's heart broke a little more upon hearing those words. "I know, Lily. We lost you many years ago, and I've been looking for you ever since. You have a circular mole on your arm, right here," he said, pointing to the exact spot. Lily looked at her arm, then back at Michael, still unsure. "Lots of people could have a mole like that." "That's true," admitted Michael, trying not to despair. "But I also remember how you used to play with a white stuffed bunny. I gave it to you for your second birthday. Your mother used to call you my little star because you always brightened our lives." Lily's eyes welled up with tears as she heard those details. She started to vaguely recall some moments, but the confusion remained. "Are you really my dad?" Michael nodded, reaching out his hands tenderly. "Yes, Lily. I've been searching for you every day since you were gone. I never stopped thinking about you, loving you." The girl took a step back, her emotions overwhelming her. "I don't know. This is all so confusing. Why didn't you come sooner? Why didn't you find me?" Michael, with tears streaming down his face, responded with a broken voice. "I searched everywhere for you, but I didn't know where you were. When I found out you were here, I came as fast as I could. I love you so much, Lily. Please, give me a chance to show you that I'm your father." Lily looked deeply into Michael's eyes, searching for the truth in his gaze. She saw the pain, the love, and the desperation in those eyes. Slowly, she took a step forward, and then another, until she finally launched herself into Michael's arms. "Dad," she whispered, her voice filled with emotion and relief. "I missed you so much." Michael hugged her tightly, his tears mingling with Lily's. "I promise we'll never be apart again, my love. We'll be together from now on." As they embraced, the other children and staff at the orphanage watched in silence, touched by the reunion. Zoe, the head caregiver, approached with a warm smile. "It's a miracle that you two have found each other. Lily, he really is your father. He's spoken about you with so much love and despair. We knew this day would come." Lily, still clinging to Michael, nodded, her tears finally giving way to a shy smile. I'm happy you came for me, Dad. Michael kissed his daughter's forehead, feeling a peace he hadn't felt in years. Let's go home, Lily. We have a lot of catching up to do, and many new memories to create together. As they headed towards the car, Michael couldn't help but notice the look of apprehension on Lily's face. The little girl was leaving behind the only home she had known for the past 5 years, and the uncertainty of what lay ahead was palpable. "Dad," Lily said, breaking the silence as the car moved along the road, "where are we going to live?" Michael smiled, trying to convey calmness and security. "We're going to live in a big, beautiful house. It's in a quiet neighborhood with a garden where you can play and have many happy moments." Lily nodded slowly, still trying to assimilate everything that was happening. "Will there be other children?" Michael thought for a moment before answering. "Not in our house, but I'm sure you'll make many friends at school and in the neighborhood. Besides, I'm thinking of something important." "What is it?" Lily asked, her curiosity piqued. "I want your friend Hannah to come live with us," Michael said, observing his daughter's reaction. "I don't want either of you to be alone. If Hannah agrees and if the caregivers agree too, I'd like to adopt her as well." Lily's eyes lit up with hope and joy. "Really, Dad? Can we take Hannah with us?" Michael nodded, smiling. "Yes, my love. If everything goes well, Hannah will come live with us. I want you to feel happy and supported." They arrived at the house, a spacious and welcoming structure with a well-kept garden. Michael opened the door and let Lily explore her new home. The little girl walked slowly through each room, marveling at the space and comfort. "This is your new room," Michael said, opening the door to a bright room decorated in soft, welcoming colors. "You can decorate it however you like and make it your own." Lily smiled shyly. "It's very pretty, Dad. Thank you." That night, as Lily settled into her new bed, Michael went out into the garden and dialed a number on his phone. "Hello, Zoe," he said when the call was answered. "I wanted to talk to you about Hannah. I would like to adopt her as well, if possible." Zoe, the head caregiver at the orphanage, listened silently before responding. "Michael, that's a very generous decision. Hannah and Lily are very close, and I know it would be wonderful for both of them. We'll make the necessary arrangements and keep you informed." The following days were filled with preparations. Michael, Lily, and the orphanage staff worked together to ensure everything was in order for Hannah's arrival. Lily, though still adjusting to her new home, was thrilled to have her friend close by. Finally, the day arrived. Michael and Lily returned to the orphanage to pick up Hannah. When the girl came running out upon seeing Lily, they both hugged tightly, laughing and crying at the same time. "Welcome to the family, Hannah," Michael said with a smile, watching the two girls embrace. "Thank you, Mr. Michael," Hannah replied, her eyes filled with gratitude and excitement. "I'm so happy to be here." The drive back home was filled with laughter and animated conversation. Lily and Hannah talked non-stop about all the plans they had for their new life together. Upon arriving home, Michael showed Hannah her new room, right next to Lily's. "You can decorate it however you like," Michael said. "This is your home now." Hannah looked around, amazed by Michael's kindness and generosity. "Thank you, Mr. Michael. I will do my best to be a good daughter." "I just want you to be happy, Hannah. That's the most important thing," Michael replied, feeling grateful for the opportunity to give these girls a better life. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Michael's house, once silent and empty, was now filled with life and laughter. The girls adapted quickly to their new school and neighborhood, making friends and participating in activities. Michael, though still burdened by his work, made sure to spend quality time with Lily and Hannah, building a strong and loving relationship. The first day of school was a challenge for both Lily and Hannah. Michael walked them to the school entrance, giving them encouragement and assuring them that everything would be all right. The girls, dressed in their new uniforms, clung to their backpacks nervously. "Remember, girls," Michael said, kneeling down to their level, "I know it's a little intimidating at first, but I'm sure you'll make lots of friends and learn new and exciting things." Hannah smiled timidly. "Will you come pick us up after school?" "Of course," Michael replied, giving them each a hug. "I'll be here at dismissal." The girls entered the school, feeling a little more confident. Throughout the day, Lily encountered some difficulties adjusting. The classroom seemed large and noisy, and although the teachers were kind, she found it hard to concentrate. Hannah, on the other hand, adapted more quickly. Always attentive to Lily, she made sure her friend was doing okay and helped her whenever she seemed overwhelmed. At recess, the two sat together under a tree, watching the other children play. "Don't worry, Lily," Hannah said, patting her on the back. "You'll get used to it soon. Remember how it was at the orphanage at first? It's similar." Lily nodded, drawing strength from her friend's words. "Thanks, Hannah. I don't know what I would do without you." Over time, the girls began to make new friends. Lily, though shy at first, found solace in school activities and in her conversations with Hannah. One of their new friends, Luna, was an outgoing and friendly girl who introduced them to the group. "Hi, Lily. Hi, Hannah," Luna greeted them one day at recess. "Do you want to play soccer with us?" Hannah looked at Lily, who nodded enthusiastically. "Sure, we'd love to," Hannah replied. The girls joined in the game, laughing and running across the field. Michael, who was watching them from a distance, felt proud to see how well they were integrating and enjoying their time at school. Michael wanted to ensure that Lily and Hannah had a childhood rich in experiences, so he enrolled them in various extracurricular activities. On Mondays, they attended painting classes, Wednesdays were for swimming, and Fridays were dedicated to a science club. One afternoon, while the girls were painting in the garden, Michael joined them. "What are you creating today?" he asked, observing the vibrant colors on their canvases. "I'm painting a landscape," Lily said, proudly displaying her work. "I like how the sky looks at sunset." "And I'm painting a portrait of the three of us," Hannah added, smiling. "I want us to hang it in the living room." Michael felt a surge of happiness seeing them so engaged and creative. "I love it, girls. I'm sure you'll be great artists someday." As the weeks passed, the family grew closer. Michael dedicated time to helping them with their homework and reading them bedtime stories. Evenings at home became moments of laughter and togetherness, where they shared their experiences and dreams. One weekend, Michael organized a volunteering activity in a nearby community. Lily and Hannah, excited by the opportunity to help, joined him. They spent the day distributing food and playing with the community's children. "It's amazing to see how happy they are with so little," Lily said as she helped hand out toys. "I want to do this more often." Michael smiled, proud of his daughter's empathy and generosity. "Of course, my love. Helping others is one of the most important things we can do." The volunteering experiences not only strengthened the bond between them, but also instilled in the girls the values of solidarity and compassion. Every small act of kindness helped shape their character and make them more aware and sensitive individuals. One day, after several years of apparent calm, Emily resurfaced in Michael and Lily's life. After a period of partial recovery from her mental illness, her symptoms of paranoia and delusions about Lily's safety began to resurface with a vengeance. Convinced that Lily was not safe with Michael, Emily decided to take drastic action. Emily stealthily went to Lily's school and began to discreetly follow her. For several days, she observed her daughter's movements and the school routine, looking for the perfect moment to carry out her plan. One Friday afternoon, when most of the students had already left and supervision was minimal, Emily saw her opportunity. She waited on a nearby corner until Lily came out of school, walking towards the spot where Michael usually picked her up. With a mix of desperation and determination, Emily approached quickly, grabbing Lily by the arm. "Lily? Honey, it's me. Mom," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "We have to go now." Lily, surprised and scared, tried to resist. "No, Mom, what are you doing? Dad's waiting for me." Emily, her eyes wild, dragged her towards a car parked nearby. "You don't understand, Lily. You're in danger. We have to get away from here." Meanwhile, Michael began to worry when Lily didn't appear at the usual spot. After a few minutes of waiting, his concern turned into panic. He ran towards the school, asking teachers and students if they had seen his daughter, but no one seemed to have any information. Desperate, Michael called the police, explaining the situation in an urgent voice. "My daughter, Lily, is missing. I think her mother, Emily, took her. She has a history of mental health issues, and I'm very worried about my daughter's safety." The police responded quickly, initiating an intense search. Michael, unable to stay put, decided to join the search. With a racing heart and a mixture of fear and hope, he drove through the streets near the school, looking for any sign of Lily or Emily. The search went on for hours, the tension increasing with each passing minute. The police and Michael checked every corner of the city, following leads and testimonies from people who believed they had seen Emily and Lily. The worry and despair were palpable. Finally, a call to the police control center provided a crucial clue. "We've received a report of a suspicious car near a motel on the outskirts of the city. It matches the description of Emily's vehicle." Michael and the officers immediately headed towards the indicated location. Upon arriving, they spotted Emily's car parked outside the motel. Cautiously, they approached the indicated room, hearing voices inside. "Mom, please, don't do this to me. I want to go back with Dad," Lily pleaded, her voice filled with fear and despair. "Lily, it's for your own good. You don't understand what's at stake," Emily replied, her voice laced with anguish and confusion. At that moment, Michael, unable to restrain himself any longer, burst into the room accompanied by the police officers. "Lily, Emily, let her go!" Emily, upon seeing Michael and the police, stepped back, trembling. "No, Michael, you don't understand. She's not safe with you." Michael advanced slowly, his hands raised, trying to de-escalate the situation. "Emily, please. Lily is scared. Let her come with me. We can work this out together." The officers, ready to intervene, waited for the right moment. Finally, Emily, seeing the scared and worried faces of Michael and Lily, seemed to realize the reality of her actions. She let go of Lily, who ran into her father's arms, sobbing. Michael hugged his daughter tightly, his own tears falling. "It's okay, Lily. I'm here. Everything is going to be okay." The officers escorted Emily away, who seemed lost and disoriented. Michael, still holding Lily, watched with sadness as his daughter's mother was taken away. "Let's go home, my love." Everything is all right now. Back home, Michael vowed to ensure that Lily never had to go through anything like that again. He increased security measures and sought psychological support to help his daughter overcome the trauma. Emily, after being apprehended by the police, was taken to a detention center. There, she underwent medical and psychological evaluations that confirmed the severity of her mental state. She was diagnosed again with a paranoid disorder, and it was determined that she required immediate treatment. The judge ruled that instead of prison, Emily would be sent to a mandatory mental health treatment facility. At the facility, Emily underwent an intensive therapy program. Initially, she was reluctant and distrustful, but over time, she began to recognize the patterns of her behavior and the roots of her illness. The therapists worked tirelessly with her, helping her to confront her fears and understand the harm she had caused. One afternoon, during a therapy session, Emily broke down in tears. "I didn't mean to hurt Lily," she sobbed. "I thought I was protecting her. Everything I did was out of fear, out of paranoia." The therapist, a woman with compassionate eyes, nodded. "It's important that you recognize that, Emily. The first step to recovery is understanding our own mistakes and working to correct them. With time and the right treatment, you can find a way to live without those fears." Emily began to cooperate more with her treatment, actively participating in sessions and taking her prescribed medication. Slowly, she began to realize the reality of her actions and the impact they had on Lily and Michael. Although the road to recovery was long, Emily was determined to change. Lily, back home with Michael, couldn't forget the traumatic experience she had endured. Memories of the kidnapping haunted her, causing nightmares and anxiety. Michael, desperate to help his daughter, contacted a child therapist who specialized in trauma. The therapist, Dr. Smith, began working with Lily in weekly sessions. At first, Lily was reserved, unwilling to talk much about what had happened, but with patience and appropriate techniques, Dr. Smith got her to slowly open up. "Lily," Dr. Smith said in one session, "I know what you went through was very difficult and painful, but I want you to know that you're in a safe place now. Here, you can talk about your fears and worries without being judged." Lily nodded, her eyes filled with tears. "I'm scared it will happen again. I don't understand why Mom did that." "Your mother was ill, Lily. She couldn't see things clearly," explained Dr. Smith. "But now she's getting help, and you're getting help too. Together we can work to make you feel safe and happy again." With time and dedication, Lily began to show signs of improvement. The nightmares became less frequent, and her anxiety lessened. Michael noticed the positive changes and felt relieved to see his daughter regaining her joy and confidence. Life in Michael's home began to stabilize. Lily and Hannah continued attending school and participating in extracurricular activities. Michael remained involved in their lives, making sure they had all the support they needed to overcome any obstacle. One weekend, while walking through the park, Lily took her father's hand. "Dad, thank you for everything you've done for me. I know it's been hard, but I feel better now." Michael smiled, gently squeezing Lily's hand. "Everything I do is for you, my love. I want you to have a happy and safe life." Hannah, who was walking beside them, added, "We're a family, and we'll always be there for each other." The days passed, and the family found a new rhythm to their lives. Laughter once again filled the house, and painful memories began to fade, replaced by new moments of happiness and love. Michael, Lily, and Hannah learned to cherish each day together. aware of the fragility of life and the importance of being united. At the treatment center, Emily began to show significant signs of improvement. The intensive therapies and safe environment allowed her to confront her fears and anxieties. Little by little, she began to recognize the mistakes she had made and understand the impact of her actions on Lily and Michael. Each therapy session brought her closer to healing. One afternoon, after a particularly emotional session, Emily sat with her therapist, Dr. Lewis. "I've been doing a lot of thinking," Emily said, her voice firm but laden with emotion. "I need to talk to Michael. I want to apologize for everything I've done and explain what I've been going through." Dr. Lewis nodded understandingly. "It's an important step, Emily. Writing him a letter could be a good start to organize your thoughts and feelings." That night, in the quiet of her room, Emily took pen and paper and began to write. "Dear Michael, I hope this letter finds you well. I know there are no words that can erase the hurt I've caused, but I want you to know that I deeply regret everything that has happened. My illness led me to act in ways I never imagined I could. And while that doesn't excuse my actions, I want you to understand that I never meant to harm Lily. I'm in treatment and I'm working hard to get better. I realize that what I need most right now is your understanding, and if possible, your forgiveness. I would like to speak with you, if you're willing, to discuss Lily's future and how I can support her well-being from here. With all my regret, Emily." Upon receiving the letter, Michael felt a mix of emotions. He knew Emily had been struggling with her mental health, but reading her words of remorse and seeing her effort to get better made him consider giving her a chance to explain herself. After careful consideration, he decided to respond. "Emily, I received your letter. I'm glad to hear that you're receiving the treatment you need. What happened left deep wounds, but I believe it's important that we talk for Lily's sake. I'm willing to listen and find a way to move forward in the best way possible for everyone. Let's talk soon. Michael." Michael arranged a meeting under the supervision of the therapists at the facility. Dr. Lewis and Dr. Smith were present to support both Emily and Michael during this crucial conversation. When Emily saw Michael enter the room, she felt a wave of emotions wash over her. "Michael, thank you for coming," Emily began, nervous but resolute. "I know I've caused a lot of pain, and I deeply regret what I did. Paranoia and fear blinded me, and I thought I was protecting Lily. I understand now that I only hurt her." Michael listened attentively, noticing the genuine change in her voice and expression. "Emily, it hasn't been easy for any of us. Lily has been through a lot, and we're still working to overcome everything. But if you're committed to your recovery and you truly want what's best for her, I'm willing to work with you on this." Dr. Lewis intervened softly, guiding the conversation towards constructive ground. "It's important that we establish clear boundaries and expectations for the future. Emily, what do you hope to achieve at this stage?" Emily took a deep breath. "I want to be a part of Lily's life in a healthy way. I don't want to interfere or cause any more problems. I just want her to know that I love her and that I'm here for her whenever she needs me." Michael nodded. "We can start slowly, maybe a supervised visit so you can see her and talk to her, and in time, we'll see how everything evolves." The meeting was the first step towards a new stage. Emily continued with her treatment, showing steady progress. Dr. Lewis coordinated a supervised visit so Emily and Lily could reunite in a safe and controlled environment. On the day of the visit, Lily was nervous. Michael accompanied her, assuring her that everything would be all right. Upon entering the room, Lily saw her mother, and the memories of what had happened came flooding back. But she also saw a different woman, someone who seemed calmer and remorseful. "Hi, Lily," Emily said, her eyes welling up with tears. "I've missed you so much." Lily approached slowly, feeling a mix of emotions. "Hi, Mom." Emily knelt down, reaching out her hands towards her daughter. "I'm so sorry for everything that happened. I wasn't well and I made a lot of mistakes. But I want you to know that I love you, and I'll always be here for you." Lily, tears streaming down her face, nodded. "I forgive you, Mom. But I also want you to know that I'm very happy with Dad. He's been taking good care of me." "I know. And I'm glad you're happy and safe," Emily replied, her voice choked with emotion. "I just want to be a part of your life, even if it's a small one." The visit was emotional but constructive. From that day forward, Emily and Lily began to rebuild their relationship step by step, always with the supervision and support of their therapists. Emily accepted that her role would be limited, but she was grateful for any opportunity to be near her daughter. The story of Michael, Lily, and Hannah is a powerful testament to love, resilience, and the human capacity to overcome even the most challenging adversities. Each character displays an emotional depth and an evolution that moves the reader. Michael, with his unwavering dedication to his daughters, exemplifies the unconditional love of a father willing to do anything for his family's well-being. Lily, despite her young age, demonstrates a surprising strength and maturity in facing trauma and finding happiness again. Emily's journey is particularly moving. Her struggle with mental illness and her search for redemption illustrate the importance of forgiveness and the capacity for individuals to change and heal with the right support. Through her recovery, we learn about the importance of understanding and compassion towards those facing mental health challenges. Together, the story teaches us that true families are built with love, understanding, and mutual support. It reminds us that, despite obstacles and difficulties, love and unity can heal the deepest wounds, and that it is always possible to find a path towards reconciliation and hope. If you found the characters' journeys inspiring, give us a like and comment to share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories that highlight the power of connection and human kindness. Thank you for watching.